everybody. Welcome to Losing in Love podcast with Madam Speaker. I am your host, Madam Speaker. If you're joining in for the first time, welcome to the family of healing, self-love, and motivation. And if you are returning, thank you so much for the continuous love and support that you are showing me. Please do not forget to subscribe, like this video, share it with those that, you feel like maybe they might, need something of this nature in their lives. And also what else, comment, leave a comment, a lovely comment. If you'd like to join the live and engage, you're more than welcome to hop over to YouTube, to TikTok, join in there so that you can request to be a guest and share your story, your views and thoughts and opinions. And if you're on TikTok and you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please kindly go this very moment to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We are at 52,000 subscribers. I really appreciate the subscribers who are there already and the growth, which is really Godspeed. We are gracefully growing on that side. So please make my day, make our day, and go there and just add on to the numbers. Please, I apologize for the noise, all right? This is a residential area, and the fact that it's summer, it's not helping at all because the sun has not yet set like completely. It's not dark outside, meaning that kids are still running around and the wax. So literally, I just have to raise my voice and talk louder because there's nothing else I can really do, for me to get the volume or the noise to be down. I remember when I first moved into this place, that used to be one thing that triggered me a lot, but I had to just make peace with the fact that this is my new life now, For those who don't know my story, I did share a story of me having to move from my old house to where I'm staying right now, which was a major downgrade, and obviously things like noise, when I know that where I used to stay, it was like a suburb of this area. There was no noise whatsoever. The fact that I had to downgrade and move into a place where from time to time I'd be reminded that this is a downgrade. It used to get to me, But I think we've been here for over a year now, and I'm at peace with the fact that this is my new life. That's why I always have to just mention to you guys to say, guys, please, I apologize for the noise. There's nothing I can do about the noise. This is the reality of our lives now. So we move. We work with whatever that is in front of us, whatever that is in our hands is a tool. We use it to get the job done. And the job is for us to do this live. And today we're going to be talking about blood being thicker than water. Where do we draw? Am I audible, you guys? Do I need to take my volume a little bit higher in terms of just am I audible? Thank you so much. I see you guys coming through. I appreciate you. I think maybe even if you can say where you're coming in from, I really appreciate that. But yeah, okay, great. I see that apparently I am audible. So as I was saying, that the topic of today, we are going to be talking about drawing the line when it comes to blood being thicker than water. This was coming after I received a DM of somebody who was saying that 20 years after they were sexually violated by a member of their family. I apologize for that little bit of a technical glitch there. It's because of the load shedding. We had to switch from the Wi-Fi that I'm using somewhere else to another one that actually works during load shedding. So yeah, I hope now we are all good. We are ready. We can move on. Today we're going to be talking about drawing the line when it comes to blood being thicker than water. This comes after somebody sent me a DM saying that 20 years after they were violated by a family member, an uncle to be precise, they are finding it difficult to move forward because the uncle paid what we call ntlawulo. Ntlawulo is a Zulu word which means damages or penalties, right? Where if you do something wrong back in the day, because there was no prison or anything like that, when you guys offend one another or do something against one another, you have to pay what they call ntlawulo. So back in the day, when people are violating each other or kids are being violated like that, for certain reasons, I'm gonna mention a few that I'm aware of. Number one, once somebody has been violated, the families have to sit together and discuss whatever that happened and see if that can be eliminated so that it doesn't happen again in the family. And then the person who violated anybody else, or okay, let's just be realistic. Now we're talking about a child who was violated by their uncle, right? So that means that the two families will now have to sit together and talk about the violation, and then the child needs to be, the child's family or the mother and the father or the parents of the child have to be compensated, and in ntlawulo has to be paid, some sort of like damages or penalties, right? And that is supposed to, make that problem disappear to a certain degree, whereby because Ntlawulo has been paid, the penalties of your child being violated has already been paid, then that problem is supposed to disappear. But now we're sitting with a situation where now an adult who was violated 20 years ago by their uncle and Ntlawulo was paid, they feel like they never got their justice. And now this person has a family of their own. And because they have a family of their own, they find it difficult to trust those family members with their children right now. You get what I'm saying? So in as much as the Ntlawulo part is being done because one, when mistakes have been made, Ntlawulo has to be paid, mistakes have to be rectified. Number two, people who were born before us were big on this whole thing of abantu bazothini syndrome. What will people say? Batho ba dorimeni, whereby literally for us to protect the integrity of the family, we have to sweep a lot of things under the rug. You understand what I'm saying? And the unfortunate part about this is maybe back then, because we were not big on psychology and everything, people never really considered the psychological part of the violation. You get what I'm saying? Because when somebody has been violated, when a child has been violated, and we say that Ntlawulo must be paid, but this child is expected to watch this uncle of hers on a daily basis and be reminded of that traumatic experience of what the uncle did to her, it never really goes away. Hence, 20 years later, she is still in a situation where she finds it very difficult to forgive her uncle. She can't trust her family members, including her parents, with her children, and she feels like justice was not served. And to her, she concluded from a very young age that blood is not thicker than water. We as Black people, we are big on, Ubuntu, the whole idea of us being able to look out for one another as a Black community. We are united, we take care of one another. We even have a saying that it takes a village to raise a child. When you see somebody else's child misbehaving, it should really hit home, because that child is your child. Because of that Ubuntu, we are really trying to protect, if that person has a job, we're trying to protect their job for them to be able to provide for their children. And also because of the stigma that comes with your child being abused, because it will be like, okay, you come from a family that abuses one another. So that's one of the reasons why people used to sit on top of things back in the day. And I always say that if you're a person who laughs at other people who are going through stuff, you will have a problem with people laughing at you when you are going through whatever. Therefore, you will make sure that you protect that with everything that you have. I always give an example with myself to say, you guys, when somebody's going through something in my life, like around me, I see no joy. I find no joy or pleasure in seeing somebody suffer. And because of that, when I'm going through whatever that I'm going through, I don't feel ashamed of sharing, because I don't remember laughing at somebody who's going through something. Therefore, when other people laugh at me, I don't even care, because that's a foreign thing to me. But there are people that laugh at other people when they go through stuff, making it very difficult for them to speak openly or to get out of situations which are sticky for them, because when they were seeing other people going through that, they were laughing at those people. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes people find it very difficult to get out, to speak out, to do this, because they were judgmental, they were mocking those who were going through certain things. You get what I mean? So that was a big thing back in the day. Judging one another was such a big thing. And also, just the fact that as a child, you are going to be blamed, you find an entire grown adult saying that this child, wapapa, this child is too forward, this child is throwing themselves at me or at adults, this child has no manners, without bearing in mind that, remember, as a parent, in as much as to a certain degree you can't be accountable or responsible for your child's behavior, but you are the one who is responsible for grooming and raising your child and making sure you instill certain values in your child, meaning that to a certain degree, the failures of your child must be attached to you, and especially with us mothers, unfortunately, there's no other way. We are always judged, we are always questioned. When a child is crying, when a child is misbehaving, when a child is doing this and that, the mother, the first thing that we will ask is, where is this child's mother? You understand? Where is the mother? When a child is misbehaving, where is the mother? We always want to know first, when anything is happening to a child, where is the mother? Meaning that if you are going to blame a child for misbehaving or for behaving a certain way, we should also question the parent to say, if you are going to blame a 14-year-old of being violated by their uncle, then we must now question you and your negligence as a parent. You get what I mean? And the truth of the matter is that even if we can question you and blame you, um, at the same time, you can't be with your child all the time. Like right now, I'm doing this live. My kids are outside. One could really fall right now. And the first thing that they're going to ask when the child falls is, where is the mother? And a lot of people will try and make me feel bad to say she was neglecting her children when things happen. But life happens to everybody. You get what I'm saying? So meaning that even if you are responsible for your child, you can't be with your child all the time. But the best thing you can do for yourself is to protect your child whenever you are around them and make sure that you stand up for your children and you protect your children with everything that is in you, you know, bearing in mind that life happens all the time. When I was going through the comment section, because obviously usually on Thursdays before we go live, I do a little bit of a short video where I'm just going to be introducing the topic that we're going to be talking about on the day. So earlier on, I did a video where I was sharing about this lady who sent me a DM saying that she was violated more than 20 years ago by her uncle, and she still finds it very difficult to move forward from that. You get what I mean? I saw a comment on the video on one of the apps where somebody was saying that her cousin, who is a man, slept with her husband. Now it's her ex-husband. Her cousin slept with her husband, and they wanted her to sit on that, and they said that is small waters, you need to get over that. And because of the stress level that she was at, she ended up having a miscarriage. Bear in mind, I'm a woman, I'm married to a guy, only for that guy to lay down with my male cousin. There's a lot of things which are at stake here. There's a lot of questions that I will have as an individual. Number one, I will question the sexuality of this guy that I'm married to. Number two, I will question the loyalty of my cousin and also this guy, you understand? And you would even ask yourself, Uri, would it have been better if this guy was cheating on me with a female cousin? Would it have been better if he's cheating on me with a male guy who is not related to me? There's a lot at play here. And obviously, with everything that is happening and everything that happened to that lady, I would understand why she would get to a point where she even had a miscarriage because of what her husband had put her through. And for family members to say, this is nothing, this is small waters, let's sit on top of this, what will people say? Like, guys, what will people say? Abantu Bazothini syndrome has killed a lot of people. And some of us, you know, we have to deal with people who suffer from abantu bazotini on a daily basis, and I think that is quite sad. And like I said in the beginning, that one of the reasons why people have to allow themselves to succumb to that and suffer is because even when other people are going through whatever it is that they're going through, they have a lot to say. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, the floor is open. You're more than welcome to join in and share your views and opinion and thoughts. And not as an individual, especially if you are one person who is really, you know, big on family values. If you were in a position where your child or two of your children are violating one another, they're abusing one another, and it's even involving the law, what do you do as a parent? A parent who has given birth to two children that you love very much, that you were hoping that, you know what, your children, you'll be proud of them, they will, you know, love each other, get along and whatnot, only to find that these people are now violating each other to a point where they have to involve the law. What do you do as a parent? Do you support the one who's a victim? Do you say, let's sit together and talk about it as a family? What do you do as a parent, you know? If you are one person that has ever had, you know, any of your family members overstepping your boundaries, what do you do in that situation? And also, for how long is this thing supposed to go? Because, you know, we speak so much about how, you know, family will always be family and everything. And like me, I'm big on family, guys. I'm big on family. I love my family, and I would kill for my family. Like, I love my family members. I'm one person that in my family, if you need me, you will find me. I'll always be there, you know. But obviously, there are one or two family members that I don't get along with. And for me personally, I'm at a very good space, even without having to have interactions with those family members. But in general, I'm one person that my family knows that, listen, they can never suffer, they can never struggle when I'm around. You know, I'm one person that anytime anything happens to any of my family members, I will run. You know, I will drop anything, I will drop you for family. But also with me being that type of a person, I have boundaries now, you know. I'm one person that has developed boundaries so much that if I feel like you are overstepping my boundaries or you being in my space, is not good for me in any way, shape, or form, then listen, between me and you are definitely going under the bus. I will not stop at anything before I throw anybody that I feel like they are tampering with my well-being and they're tampering with my boundaries. I will not stop at anything, before I throw you under the bus or I show you the door and I distance myself from you. And the other day I was having a conversation with a friend and we are talking about how, people who have boundaries, who know about boundaries, can be really toxic at some time, because you find that you have boundaries, you understand boundaries, you have established boundaries for yourself, but for some reason, because you know what boundaries are, you can take advantage of somebody who does not have boundaries, who does not have boundaries in place and does not know anything about boundaries. So you end up overstepping people's boundaries and expecting, okay, not even expecting, being okay with people doing things for you that you know very well that if tables were turned, you would never do the same thing for them. I remember this one time there was a funeral of some people that I know from the social media space, and somebody was saying to me, are you not going to attend the funeral of these people because you love them and we've seen you with them from time to time? The only thing that I said is, if we were to be realistic and be honest with one another, if anything happens in my family, these people, I don't expect them to be there and I don't see them coming there. And for that reason, I'm not going to go. No matter how sad I feel or how much I'm going to, extend my condolences and whatever, but I'm very realistic in a sense that I'm not going to do things for people that I know for sure that they wouldn't do the same thing for me. Yes, sometimes I may count my chickens before they hatch, to a point where I do something for somebody and they don't do anything for me in return, and that'll be okay, But I can't just blindly, do things for people when I know very well that they would never do the same thing for me. And also I feel like sometimes it's just putting a lot of pressure on people and putting people on the spot when you go an extra mile to do things for people that, if tables were turned, deep down in your heart that these people will never do the same thing for you. You get what I mean? So it's really, really quite straightforward. And some of these things, it's one of those things where when you are looking at it from where you are seated, you'd be like, I don't think this person would do the same thing for me. But if something happens to you, then they surprise you and then they come and then they show you support. So it really requires you to be quite honest with yourself and the expectations that you have from other people. But we do have a tendency of overstepping each other's boundaries so much that the things that people do to us or the things that we do to people, we would be mad if they did the same thing to us. You understand what I'm saying? So when it comes, going back, not deviating to, I don't want to deviate too much from the topic at hand. My dad taught me to be good. Ria is saying that my dad taught me to be good for everyone and God will do, or to do good for everyone, God will do good for me. Yeah, well, it's quite tricky for me. I learned the hard way that I don't have to necessarily be good to people who are not good to me. Like, I don't want to lie, guys. Like, that's why I always say that, hello, baby. Yeah? Cool, light more iPad. Let me see. Oh, don't come anywhere near my live, ne? Just stand there. What do you mean, cool light a little one? Ah, well, yeah, in a little one. Yeah, ask Temiso to use his phone. Where is Temiso? Yeah, call him and then use his phone. Sorry about that, you guys. I don't know if there's anybody who has anything to share, because I think from what I've already shared, sometimes Miss Wadeta says sometimes you must return energy as you are given. People are mean. Yeah, for me right now, I'm at a point where in the initial stage, I'm good to everybody, I treat everybody the same, trust and believe. The other day I was saying, even at some podcast where I was invited, that I'm good to everybody and I treat everybody the same. And the way that I treat everybody the same, there are people who look at me and they see somebody who's very arrogant. And the reason why they see me as somebody who's arrogant is because they are higher than me according to them. And because they are higher than me, they have more money than me, they drive a better car than me, they have a better everything than me. They expect that I need to lower myself and bow down to them because of what they have. So when I don't bow down to that, it comes across as if I'm a very arrogant person. You understand what I'm saying? And then there are people who look at me and they gauge me and they gauge themselves and they feel like they have less than me. Therefore, they want to be, inferior to me. And every time, for me, for example, if you wanted to go down to greet me or whatever, me and you will go down together. We'll meet each other down there. There's no way I'm going to allow anybody to bow down to me. So with those type of people who gauge themselves and see themselves as somebody who is below me, they always see me as a very humble person. You understand? But in all honesty, I'm a very neutral person. My treatment towards people is the same. How you react to that with me giving you the same treatment. If maybe you are used to people worshiping you, then you will see me as very arrogant. If you are used to people looking down on you, you will see me as a very humble person. But in all honesty, I'm the same. But when it comes to me being helpful or extending a helping hand, I'm a very I'm a very hands-on person when it comes to people. But one thing that I have learned, and I learned this the hard way, is that when it comes to me doing things for people, I should not do things for people to a point where it hurts. It does not need to hurt. Once it starts hurting, then I shouldn't be doing it to begin with. You understand what I'm saying? Because once I now over-compromise myself, tomorrow when you don't do the same thing for me, I'm going to start crying foul. I'm going to start crying foul. You get what I mean? Hey, ma'am.
Hey, Madam Speaker, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you, my darling? Happy New Year. I think it's the first time you're coming in this year, eh?
No,
It's
I just
not.
changed my picture, my profile picture.
No, I mean it's the first time you're joining the live this year.
No, I've been your live before.
Oh,
This
okay.
year, even this year, like
Oh,
maybe sometime in January or something.
okay. So what are your views and thoughts about the topic at hand?
So I don't quite get the topic, but I've been listening to you talking about, like boundaries. Is that what the topic is all about?
No, the topic was about
Yes.
blood being thicker than water, to say to what extent do we feel like we need to cut that when it comes to family violating one another, because the topic was about a lady who was saying
Oh,
that her uncle violated her from a young age, but they had to, sort it out within the family and not involve the police and everything. But 20 years later, she still feels like, you know what, something is not right with me. The emotion side of things was never dealt with, and she can't trust her family, and she had to detach from her family because of the violation, and now she blames everybody including her parents because she feels like they have failed her. You get what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
And it's very common in
I think you're a bit far. I don't know whether you have headphones on or what's going on, but I can barely hear you.
Okay, hold on one second.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Thank you.
How about now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That's better? Okay. I think it's very common in most African households.
Mm-hmm.
But the good thing though is I think people are starting to waking up to respect our feelings, to acknowledge, not only to acknowledge our feelings, but to respect our feelings and not to having to allow anybody to tell us how to feel.
Yes.
Or looking to other people to tell us how to feel. I think there's always been dishonest when it comes to when bad things happen within the family. There's always dishonest of don't let other people know about it. This is a family matter. And there's nothing really to handle business within the family. I don't have issue if issue arise within the family and handle it appropriately. What I do have issues with is just because it happened in the family, that it doesn't mean that we should not take whatever necessary step that we need to take to make sure that we tackle the issue, with the same emotion that you would do for outsider. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that we don't have to bundle all these emotions just because it's coming from family.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, it is so important that we are teaching our children how to not only make their own boundaries for themselves, but how to. There's a whole lot of noise. The noise is not coming from it.
No.
Um, Hello, can you hear? Ooh.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so it's not only that we have to teach our children how to what boundaries are and who is boundaries for, but actually to respect our own boundary and not to step out of our boundary for anyone.
Okay, I see somebody saying that we can't hear you. Can you just confirm, guys? Can you not hear Tima? Is there only one person who can't hear her? Sorry? Guys, can you hear Tima? Okay, nobody's saying anything. I don't know, maybe there's a problem on my side as well.
Let somebody else go and see if that will make it.
I was also hearing that sound. Who is speaking now? Is it Shiman? Hello.
It's Shiman.
Hi. Hey, when you are going to give me a heart attack, when I see a name like Shimani, I'm worried. I'm like, okay, which underage child do we have here?
No, I'm kind of an underage.
Okay.
And I think I need to share some of my issues since I can relate to the topic.
Okay. As long as at least we can't see your face or anything like that, so it's fine. You can go ahead and share.
Yeah, so in my situation, it's a kind of like a cage situation because I can't really speak up.
Okay.
You know, what happened is that in 2019, I went to visit my dad where he was working in Teflop.
Okay.
By then, a year before, I had an abortion. I was 15 years old. My family decided I had to abort. So the following year, early March, I went to visit my father. During the visit, the first day, we slept in the same room because it was like renting at the place. So the first day he slept on the floor.
Okay.
Then the second day, it was like raining and it was very, very, very cold. So he decided he was gonna sleep with me on the bed.
Okay.
Yeah. So at night, he came really close to me and he just started talking about things, you know, sexually harassing things. He started talking to me about my termination. He said he wanted to teach me some of the things that I should know as a woman. He then instructed me to insert my fingers inside my vagina. At that moment, I was really scared because I thought he was gonna rape me or something. But I don't know what happened. He just kept quiet and went out and stopped talking about everything. In the morning, I decided to call my mom, tell her what happened because I didn't feel good. I didn't feel safe after all. I really didn't feel safe. So I called my mom. When I was about to talk to her, he came in. So I couldn't talk anymore. I was scared if I tell her, they would do something to me because I was really feeling unsafe. My mom just shouted to me, like, if you don't want to talk, just shut up. It's going to affect you. Like, I just feel like she didn't talk to me in a proper way for me to be open to her when I get home. You get what I'm saying? When I got home, I just let it slide. But it was really hurting me. To a point, I started having anger issues. I still have them right now. It started in 2019. I wanted to go and report it, but I thought that I wouldn't get support from my mom because she has been abused in a relationship for like years. Ever since I was a kid, I don't remember her not being abused. She was physically beaten in front of us. So I just felt like telling her will be useless because she can't help herself. How was she going to help me? Then again, I thought of my siblings. I thought of my brother and my younger sister. How were they going to live? Because we are all depending on him financially.
Okay.
I thought that I needed to go to varsity. Who was going to pay for my fees? Who was going to pay for accommodation and clothing? So this year I decided to get therapy because it has been hard, honestly. I've been having nightmares. It has been hard to sleep ever since. And I am failing because in 2022 I became a mother. I am failing to be a mother to my son. I have anger issues. Or I get angry in each and everything he do, and he has to do some things because he's a kid. He just has to do that. But to me, it's a very huge thing because of the trauma. So I just feel like I can't just talk. Maybe therapy is the only thing that's gonna help me right now as I'm doing it. But I feel like I can't go to the police. I can't go anywhere because I have siblings. My mother, how is she going to support me because she can't help herself out? Yeah.
So, ever since that incident between you and your dad, what has been happening?
He came back home permanently in 2020. So the thing, what happens is if there's no one at home, I always have a knife by my side.
Okay.
in case, just in case. So that's what freaks me out, because what if someone enters in an improper way and I think it's him going to do something and I end up doing something bad, you know?
Yeah.
For my own security, I always have a knife. If there's no one, if my mom is not at home, my siblings are not at home, I make sure that I have a weapon because I don't feel safe around him at all. I try by all means not to show anything that have happened. I try by all means to be like a normal being when I'm around him, but I know that I'm not safe. I don't feel safe because I don't even feel like my sister is safe. I have a 6-year-old sister. I don't feel like he's safe around him. I don't like her being around him because I have seen.
So when you say that your mother has been abused her entire marital life, was she being abused by the same man who sexually assaulted you?
Yes, it is my biological father.
I see people are asking if he's your biological
for
father.
like the rest of our lives.
Sorry?
Yes, it is the same man.
Sure. I just followed you, ne? Because okay, I wanna find out from you before I can let other people maybe who have something to say to you speak.
Yeah.
So far, what do you feel like, if you were to be completely honest with yourself, what do you feel like is needed for you to get the healing and the closure that you want? What do you desire from this situation?
Like I said, I'm trying therapy.
Okay.
I was doing an online therapy, but someone recommended me to a hospital. They give free therapy there.
Okay.
So I've went twice. I just feel like it's not helping. I feel the same. I do talk, I do cry, but I just feel like it's not helping because I see him every day. I do see him. When I'm at home, I see him.
Let's say in an ideal world, ne, where you didn't have to consider all the things that you are considering now, if you were to be completely honest with yourself, what would you say you would want to be done?
I would want him to get arrested if it wasn't for my mother, my siblings. If it was just me facing him, I would have gone to the authorities.
Okay. Let me allow other people who maybe have something that they can share with you, because I feel like right now, whoever that wants to say anything to the lady, you can just unmute yourself and share.
I think I'm going to money. Yes.
Okay, I think one wrong person just exited the live. Is there anybody else who would like to share something?
Yes, I would like to share something. Hi, Shimani, how are you? I'm fine, thanks. How are you? I'm fine. My name is Petunia. I'm 29 years of age from Mokopani. I also had a similar situation, but then it was not exactly like yours. Now the anger that I got is because I had a baby out of wedlock, and you know what? As other churches, we do have a culture. Yeah, or having a child before marriage, it's unacceptable. I've grown like and it was something. It was difficult because being raised by what we call a pastor. You know, to let, for example. So I had, ever since I found out that I was pregnant, I started having anger issues because of I felt pregnant by a guy that I never even loved. It was just something that it was a trip. And another thing is because they once gave me a prophecy that if ever you can be in a relationship when I felt pregnant. But I thought maybe I was strong enough whereby I would just hold myself. I didn't know moving from home to other places, I went out of the covering of God. So to cut the story short, what I wanted to advise you is that for you can go and get the therapy. Like you said, you still feel the same. Sometimes sometimes we don't need people who did hurt us to be arrested. Sometimes you need to forgive them. The inner peace. You need to tell Shimane that's in you that Shimane you're gonna move on. You're gonna forgive this man, irrespective how painful it is. Now I was blaming myself. Even today, I'm not totally healed because of I can sorry. I still have situations, but you need to fight and forgive yourself. For you now you've been hard on yourself. You're mad at yourself. Sometimes you're blaming yourself. Why did you want to tell? Why did you do that? Why didn't you speak out? Well, when are the situation that you are now? Okay, I'm gonna include Tabaya spiritually because of I'm one kind of person who believe it. You should balance someone spiritually and physically because of anything that happens spiritually, it manifests physically. So you need to forgive your father. You know why am I saying this? It is not easy. I can't be arrested, but just know one of the good days. You know our country. Justice I know Pila is a viewer on which you need to forgive him for the sake of the man that will be in your life. Because of right now, I don't know you, but I know I can tell you what you don't even want to be in a relationship anymore because of you think all men are the same. So you need to forgive. If you can manage to forgive that man because of the spirit of anger, forgive. And if you can't forgive, you can't let something go. If I'm arrested, or someone forgive, you won't forget. I can good. You won't forgive him. You will forget. And forget. It's not about you forget because of you no longer see him every day. But trust me, the demon of lack of forgiveness, it will come even you'll have dreams. You'll think about it. You'll be in a relationship with someone who will do something and because now you have an anxiety. You'll be in a relationship with someone who will do the same thing your father did or will say something unintentionally and that thing it will the demon lack of forgiveness. Immediately then anxiety. Now I couldn't forgive myself or I felt pregnant. I felt pregnant out of wedlock. I couldn't forgive myself for after being pregnant. I was maybe a better example because of when I speak, but never you know like you speak live. Even today, I will just wake up being angry at myself. Anger, it's like a tree. It has branches. Anger, it's so the spirit it will even give you a spiritual husband because of whatever trauma that you went through. You don't close it, got the forgiveness and forget. It over, you end up decide, don't worry, I'm just gonna help myself, then I'll leave men and immediately start the journey of helping yourself. You will never get out. And another thing, it's a generational case. If you're a firstborn, whatever that your mom ever, you're going through right now. And another thing, if you cannot forgive your father. I know it is not easy, my dear sister. I will not trust me. I know the feeling that you had. Pain, anger, someone did this. I fall. But all I can tell you, the first step. Therapy, it will help you. The first step is to forgive. Forgiveness is not easy. Forgiveness, it is not easy. Our host can attest to this if I'm not lying.
Yeah.
Forgiveness is not an easy thing because you don't just say, I'm forgiving you, Teddy. It's okay. No. And forgiveness, you pray about it and say, God, now I'm ready to forgive this man. You face your father, confront him. Do you still remember he once did this? I say Dumele, I've forgiven you. You don't write the message. You're facing the cage, you're facing the jail, you're facing the prison that you are in. You're unlocking yourself from that because of if ever someone can unlock for you, you will still feel like you're in jail even though you're outside because of you never use the authority and the power and the audacity to take yourself out of that. You face your father and say, Papa, I forgive you for ruining my life. And thank you for bringing the pain into my life because of tomorrow I'm going to be a living testimony. Being a victim of such things, my dear one, God doesn't allow them. Because of there are women that are still coming. You're gonna stand on the altars and say, women born wake up. You can by the people that you don't know. I was the victim of my own father, someone who gave birth to me. But today I'm standing here because of in order for you, everything you Mudimu is preparing something greater. That child deserves to be loved. If you guys talk about your child can also do whatever because of generational curse is something that is very dangerous. Forgive and forget. Forgiveness is the foundation of everything. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, madam. I really
Yeah, can I say something? Okay. I do understand what she's saying, forgiveness, but it is not easy to forgive someone who is continuously doing something. About me, yes, he did the harassment once, but there is abuse. He is continuously doing it. He's not stopping the abuse on my mother, and there is my sister on the other side. There is a person I'm thinking about. I have forgiven him on that. It was like 5 years ago. The thing what I have in me is fear. I have fear, yes, and anger. I do have anger, but forgiveness, I have forgiven him, but I cannot forget. It's not easy to live because there is abuse. You get what I'm saying? And I'm unable to talk to my mother. I'm unable to talk to her.
Apostle?
Can I just support his statement for forgiveness? Please. Okay. You can
guys, the rest of you guys, can you just switch off the mics because of the backgrounds are not okay. If someone is it's online, it's active because of we cannot hear.
Okay. Yeah, everybody else can just mute and then
Can I please elaborate on what you said, my sister?
Yes.
Okay.
Forgiveness actually works in hand with understanding God's will. Whatever you went through in life, it wasn't your own will, it wasn't your own pressure, it wasn't your own doing, but it's you actually accepting the situation that you were in because you were chosen to go through those hardships. You are the chosen one to actually bear every curse, as she said. Generational curses are very dangerous due to tini. Nkulunkulu actually, like God, actually tests your patience and tests your will as a human being. How are you going to be able to stomach being alone? You would have to start by understanding what you are standing alone, and everyone else, they are a testimony of your growth. They are a living. You have to actually try and work with. We are not doing everything with our own will. Just try and be tuned with God's will. It's His will that you are going through so much. You are going through so much hardships. Try to understand and try to pray and say, "Nkulunkulu Baba, Moya Ngcwele, can you please try and show me what I'm actually going through? Why am I going through such hard times? Why is life such a hard thing for me? Bearing everything that it's on my shoulders. Family not wanting to work with me hand in hand. Telling them this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 is wrong, but they would still feel inferior. You know why? Because before that blessing came to you, it was on their shoulders. Before that blessing came to on your shoulders, it was with them. And they were the ones that rejected it because it was too hard. And seeing someone who's younger actually fighting their life, fighting everything, going against every evil spirit that's on their shoulders, going against the curses that were laid upon, everything that is coming to you, it comes on your shoulders, and you are praying, you are going down on your knees. So it's not them trying to fight you physically. Remember, everything is happening on a spiritual level. They're trying to break your spiritual form. They're trying to break that force field that you building around you. By them doing that, you will never be able to forgive if you're not actually accepting Witini. What happened in the past wasn't in my shoulders. What happened in the past wasn't in my hands. But it was God's will to Witini. I would actually be able to learn from my experiences, to learn from everything that has happened to me, because I was never in my hands in the first place. Father God, you know, Witini, I took wrong decisions. This happened to me. It wasn't my own will. Remember, Witini, in this world, we are being driven by our angels, by our forefathers, by God Himself. He lives and He walks and He breathes the same way with you. And you have to start by simply believing in that and simply believing, Witini, God is with you, God is in tune with you, and you would have to actually work with Him and actually accept His will and actually accept the way that He wants you to go. It's not going to be easy. Remember that. And always put that in mind. For their the chosen ones, it's never going to be easy. You see people bearing fruits, but we never know what they're going to do at night. You will never know what they're doing alone when they're in the corners. So if you are living life in a straight manner, trying to be in tune with God, it's not going to be easy. Because he's going to constantly try to see how strong are you by letting the people around you break you. And if they don't break you, they're going to resent you. They're going to hate you for years. And then if God is actually trying to build you, because they'll be asking themselves, why is she the one who's doing this? Why is she the one who's praying so much? Why is she the one who's... Your presence means a lot. They do not hate you for who you are. They hate you because your presence means a lot. Your experiences means a lot. I mean, just think about it. You were able to actually have a child and actually raise her on your own. If you're raising her on your own, that's God's blessings. How many do not actually make it into this world due to Utini? They are not, those women are not strong enough to say, let me bring the soul into this world. They're not bringing that soul. It's also, they are part of growth. They are part of actually becoming stronger on God's will. Because at some point, she will look back and say, oh, Nkulunkulu Baba Moyo Ngcwele, I went through so much in life and you were able to bless me with this much. Now I can actually see the life that you blessed me with, the way that I was supposed to work. So try and be actually accept the hardships, the hard times, the hatred coming from family. It's not on your shoulders. It's not by your doing. So understand, Wutini, it's God's will for them to actually, yes, for the fact that you can even see them hating you that much. You are becoming more in tune with His will. He's showing you, look, this is how much they do not like you. The very same father who gave birth to you, the very same mother who gave birth to you, hate you so much that you know very well, Uti, if they would find you in a place whereby it's the jungle or in a forest, they would actually take a knife, literally stab you. If they're stabbing you behind your back and you don't see it, but you see it through their words, you see it through their actions, whenever you walk into a room, you feel their anger, just a boxing and gets upon yourself with, hey, this person hate me so much. Remember, it's not your doing. It's God's will that they hate you so much. Unkulunkulu is the only one that knows why are you going through those situations that are you going through. Why is He letting them actually show them? But for the fact of what you are born, you should be grateful. For the fact of which you're seeing them on your shoulders, trying to weigh you down. They see how strong you are. Physically, spiritually, and mentally, they can see how strong you are. So understand, Uti, it's not your doing. It's God's will.
Thank you so much.
If they don't hate you, their anger will go in to your younger sister, who you care so much about. And if they start hating your sister, of course it will get to you. But understanding that it's God's will, that the two of you have to go through so much hardships. Your bond, He knows what He's doing. His will is not known by anyone else but Himself. Who is the bearer of the fruits of life? Who is the bearer of our gifts? Who is the bearer of our ways? And the darkness and both in the lightness. Because remember, for you to be in the darkness, it has to be in His will. Remember, there was in the Bible which they had an agreement with God Himself, and He was like, here, you can have him, but do not touch his soul. So you can tempt him to try and break him and make him a dust, but they never passed. They never passed with Pampuli because he was God's, not a human being. So Melupindu Kumbule, start by remembering that you're not a person's person, but you're God's person. And your forefathers and your ancestors, your parents, they're pretty like you're force filled. Remember, they're actually going to God and saying, make her strong, make her. When they get to God, God actually bestows the blessing of strength upon you. He bestows the blessing of seeing the people that do not love you in this world. Remember that He's the greatest. He's the forefather of all our soul. And there's this thing that I always tell myself, Utini, "Kulungile, Baba." Remember to say it's fine. As long as it's your will. Just try and understand, Utini, everything we're going through, it's God's will, Mama.
Oh, thank you so
Thank you
much, my
very
brother. I
much.
really, really appreciate
Amen.
you. Amen. Thank you so much. Apostle,
Shalom, shalom, people of God.
shalom, man of God.
Yes, how are we doing?
We are getting there. We are getting there. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. How are you, Shivani? I'm sorry to ask you this, but how old did you say you were, so that maybe we can fraction the advice according to the age, looking at the struggles that are surrounding you and the limitations that you are being faced with for you to remain in such a toxic environment?
Thank you. That was back in 2019. I was 17 years old. I was 17 years of age. Right now, I'm 21 years old.
Okay, so it means you are still very, very much dependent on your family and your mom and your dad. So you are restricted to being around them.
Yes, very true.
Wonderful. Yes, okay. Now, I want you to pick 3 things that I'm going to speak about here. It is forgiveness, then fear, then the anxiety that they were talking about, and then acceptance. Forgiveness, as I like to put it, it is the ability to stomach pains that you have passed through. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you are excusing the pains that you have passed through, but it is the ability to stomach those pains and exist above those pains. So you have been wronged at a very tender age. You have been molested by someone that was supposed to be a protector to you, by someone who was supposed to be a father figure to you, and you ended up losing hope in the idea of having a father figure. So now you have to come to a place of forgiveness, not for other people, but for yourself. The forgiveness is not for the other people. The forgiveness is not for your father. It is for yourself, so that you can begin your healing process. Because in the absence of forgiveness, healing will not be found. Healing will not be present. So you need to come to a place where you forgive, so that you can heal yourself. You can come to a place of saying, this has happened to me. Now I have to soldier on and make something for my name, so that those who are coming behind me do not have to endure the same atmosphere that I was brought up into. Because like the majority of people have said here, the weight that you are carrying now is going to be transferred to the little sister that I believe you said you have. So the forgiveness is for yourself, the healing is for yourself, and then the result of these 2 processes is going to help those who are coming behind you. Because if you can manage these 2 processes, you have created an atmosphere that will be conducive for the people that are coming. You will come to a place where you can be able to raise the little sister that is growing behind you. And now, getting to your mother, the reality of the situation is, if you don't speak up about the traumas that you are going through, you are of age, you have reached a level of maturity that even legally it is allowed for you to now speak out. If you don't speak out, because as I was listening to you, you are limited in your speech to speak out because the father is still around and you are afraid to converse with your mother. I want to call you to the room of light to say, speak out. The pains that you have endured under that roof, your mom has to be conscious of those realities. And if she is also conscious of those realities and she is not doing anything, let her know the space that you are in to say, Mama, I know you know what I have passed through. Mama, I know you know what I am going through. Because I was hearing you say something like you are sleeping with knives when you are all alone in the house. you are having knives on your bed, it means there is a possibility for the trauma to repeat itself. It means that this man is still a devil in that house, and it will take your voice to cast out that devil, to bring the devil out in the open. And I am happy that this platform is the first phase of you speaking out. I am very, very happy that you are speaking out, because it takes courage, it takes strength for you to even appear on this platform and share with strangers like ourselves. This is the first bold step that you have taken into addressing the demonic energy that you find yourself in, because no one wants a father who can be able to abuse them the way that you have been abused. So it is now going to be your responsibility to gather courage again, to say, how do I speak out so that this man doesn't repeat the actions, so that this man doesn't go down to my sister, so that this man does not continue the behavior of abusing my mother. I want to ask you this question. Is your mother working?
No, she's not working. She does part-time jobs though.
Okay. What are you doing yourself?
I'm a law student at the University of South Africa.
You are a law student at the university. Now, sometimes we are subject to abuse because of our current situations. We are subject to abuse because of our current situations. Because if I can ask you this question, maybe it's going to come out as yes. Is he the provider for the family?
Yes, he is.
You see, that leverage over you guys, you have to come to a place with your mom where that leverage is no longer viable. Because if he is the one who is providing that, it means he is having authority over all of you, and he can do whatever he pleases. This is how he has power over you guys, because he's the one who's providing. So you need to come to a place of agreeing with your mom to find a common footing, a common ground, to say, how can we provide for ourselves so that I can excel in my law degree, and you, mama, can find something that is comfortable in order for us to provide for ourselves. It is very, very painful, because some situations we cannot solve them by giving advice. I am someone who believes in being realistic in situations, because this is not a situation that needs words. It's a situation that needs practical help. You understand? I wish we could have this authority, we could have this power where we can help people like you, we can direct them to the right places. And I wish Perseverance could have such connections, such connections that when we have someone like you in this kind of platform, we can do tangible things, like helping you find a family that can help you until you finish school, and mama can find something that she can be doing, and she has her own power that she commands, and this man does not have a grip over your life, guys. And this is my prayer to you. Joseph was rejected by his own family. Joseph was rejected by his own parents. Joseph was rejected by everyone who had him and the dreams that he carried. I want to assure you that when the time is right, you will celebrate, but it starts with forgiveness. Because even in the midst of all the rejection that happened in the life of Joseph, the Bible still says, in the time of famine, the brothers of Joseph came into Egypt, and they saw that Joseph was the prime minister of that day. And he did not chase them away. He embraced them to show them that you're trying me, and your persecution has led me to this place. I have accepted God and raised above platforms that I thought would break me, and here I am today. So start with the place of forgiveness. Even if you can go to therapy, if you yourself don't counsel yourself, if you yourself don't forgive yourself for not being strong enough to be molested, if you yourself don't forgive yourself for not having enough strength to speak there out, I can assure you that you continue in the same pains. And I pray that God allows for you to grow and mature beyond the now situation, and you can rejoice tomorrow. People of God, I wish we could do something tangible. Madam Speaker, please find people who can sponsor these platforms, find partners, find NGOs. I believe in South Africa, because me, I'm in Botswana. Africa, please reach out to them. Please reach out to them and find out if they can, reach out to people like this one. Thank you, people of God. May God bless you.
Thank you so much, man of God. I'm actually working on having an NGO myself, but I do have people that we are working with in the meantime. Shimani, please do reach out. There's a number that is on my bio. It's a WhatsApp number. When you click on that number, it's going to take you to, if you say hi on it, it's gonna give you a link to a WhatsApp group that you can join, where we will be able to, at least, if you can be part of that community, at least you will be within arm's reach for us to be able to help you further than this. Also, one thing that I wanted to add on to what everybody else has been saying so far, especially regarding the issue of therapy. I'll need you to understand one thing about therapy. I'm a big fan of therapy. Therapy is the same as when you go to the gym. When you go to the gym, it's painful. The exercises themselves, they are painful, but there are certain things that you need to put in place for therapy to be able to work for you. Like they are saying, or in terms of you forgiving and you being able to be open and honest about what is happening to you, and sharing, finding a point where you share this thing with your mother, because I think that's where the turnaround point is going to be. Therapy is the same as if you're going to go to the gym and still be able to eat unhealthy and be lazy and do all these things. The gym will never ever work for you. Therapy works in the same way. For therapy to be able to work for you, you need to do the background check yourself. And also with therapy, it's the same as when you are going to the gym today, the body hurts today, you will not see results today. So I need you also to be very, very patient with yourself when you are going through the process of therapy. And also in whatever that you believe in, if it is God that you believe in, involve God even in your therapy sessions. My therapist, I thank God, she's a woman of faith, you understand? So in us being able to walk through the journey of therapy together, we are able to even involve God in that. So if you are a person who is a believer of Christ, you should be able to involve him even in the process of your therapy, to say, Lord, heal me from the inside out, and also the things which are being said and which are being shared. I hope you will be able to even go back and rewatch the whole video from YouTube, so that if there are any parts or any points that you have missed, you'll be able to note everything down and pay attention to things which you feel like these things are going to work for me. And I have no doubt, I'm one person who believes so much in the power of, just the willingness of you wanting to be better, to heal and to move away from the point where you are. Because if this thing was not hurting you, you are not going to be here today. But the fact that you are not comfortable in that position, the fact that you want to get out, the fact that you want it so badly, it's good enough for you to be able to be hopeful, to say, listen, eventually I'm going to get out of it. You understand? You being able to be here to share, and also to have that ear to listen to what people have to say, and advise you based on your situation. I do believe, Ori, you have taken a big step, the biggest step of your life, and your life will never ever be the same again. The position that you are at right now, I was having a conversation with another lady during the day who's going through whatever it is that she's going through, and she was saying to me, Perseverance, I'm in an excruciating pain. And I told her that the pain that you are feeling today, you will never feel it anymore. I love the word of God in during the time when the Israelites were leaving Egypt and they were going to cross over the Red Sea, and when they saw the Egyptians coming closer to them, and they were saying to Moses, these people are coming, and he said, when God said you must part the Red Sea for the people of God to cross through the Red Sea, he said, tell my people that the Egyptians that you are seeing today, you shall see them no more. I need you to understand that the pain that you are feeling right now, whatever it is that you are going through right now, the pain that you are feeling today, if you allow yourself and you acknowledge yourself that the Egyptians which are in your life, the things which are hidden in your life, that you are unable to be honest with yourself and share, these are the Egyptians in your life that you will not see no more from this day going forward. You need to make these declarations in your own life, because I can make the declarations for you, but if you do that for yourself, I'm telling you, you will never ever go wrong. I'm getting so emotional as I'm speaking. I don't know if there's anybody else who has not said anything to her who would like to share something to her.
Madam Aswalani.
Hi.
Hi, Ninjani.
Siyaphila njani?
I don't know where to start. Long time ago, Mankola, very, very long time ago, bengihlala family yakabuma, and ngisuke kuma, I think benginaboma 6-7, ngayohlala kagokwami. So ugokwami ubenabantwana abaningi. So besingabantwana, I think it was me and my 2 cousins. Well, mina, mine, it's different because obenza lezi zinto kumina akusiyo umuntu wesilisa, but it was my aunt. Angaze ngakhuluma ngayo till today. And then bekazongimolesta like each and every single day. If kungekho umuntu ejardini. And then what she did to me, I felt like uyele wavula a can of worms because emva kwalokho it was rape after rape after rape after rape. To a point ukuthi amanye ama-rape bengiwa-allowa because if bengingawa-allowi, I wouldn't be here and sharing this today. So akekho umuntu engike ngakhuluma naye ngalento. Sengimdala, ngiwumama, nginabantwana. I'm angry. I've been rejected all my life. I'm lonely. And sometimes kuba nzima ukukhuluma nabantu because kuba ngathi you are seeking attention, you know, ufuna validation of some sort. Ngike ngazama ukukhuluma noma about this in passing, akaze waze wanginaka. I think ngizame kayi-3 akaze waze wanginaka. My aunt obekangimolesta akasekho emhlabeni, uyele washona. I think it was 2013. So after 2013 ngazama ukukhuluma noma in passing, even though beyingekho into abezoyenza, but I was hoping ukuthi mhlawumbe uzothi awukuhlale phansi ungixoxele kahle lesi story osikhulumayo ngisizwe kahle ukuthi kwenzakaleni. But she never did that, you know. Well, I do not blame her because there was a point beka relationship and ngalezo ikhathi I think benginabo ma-10 bebeqeda ukuhlukana ne-stepfather and stepfather I think besizofika nje just ukuthi amncenga ukuthi babuyelane. I remember my mom telling me ukuthi ngifenza i-stepfather sami. And at that time I was 10 years old. Bengazi ukufenza yini, bengazi lutho nje, bekuyidumela even though bengimolestiwe before, but izindaba zokufenza bengazazi. Me and my brother are in a relationship because whenever mengizodlala nobhuti wami bekuthiwa ngiyamfenza. Ezinye izinto zingigcine zingilida ukuthi ngingakuthandi ukuhlala ekhaya. Because I felt like at that time there was no peace. Even now, even today, angijabuleli ukuhamba ngekhaya. I would rather be emqashweni with no food if anginakho ukudla, or I would rather be in my space than being at home because there is no peace. Everything that ever happened in empilweni yami, it's my fault. If you get to a point whereby iba heavy, sometimes I will fast and pray. Ngimbuza uNkulunkulu ukuthi I'm not asking for izinto eziningi and I'm not asking for impilo perfect. The only thing I'm asking for ukuthula. Because nginovalo, nginabantwana bamantombazana abayi-2. Akekho umuntu engimthembayo ngabantwana bami. Even my own mother, angimthembi ngabantwana bami. Even myself, angizithembi ngabantwana bami. But ngiyaye ngithi kungcono if banami other than ukuthi babe nomunye umuntu. So ngiyawezwa ama-advice about forgiveness, ngiyawezwa ama-advice about a lot of things. But I think few weeks back, I was in a virtue whereby I was so angry with God because akunanto engike ngayithola empilweni kalula. Everything I have to grind for it. Everything ekumele ngiyilwele. I do not fit in anywhere. Whether ngisemsebenzini, whether ngisesontweni, whether ngisekhaya,
I'm like ngikule isolation engayi-understand ukuthi iza kanjani, why mina ngedwa, because ngifila ngathi yimi ngedwa, wonke umuntu they are blending in nje, everything seems to be okay with them, even though ngiyazi ukuthi akusi the way ngicabanga ngakhona, but
May I ask you something, my darling? What happened between your mom and your dad? Do you have a relationship with your dad?
my dad passed away on 98, and my dad and I were very close. Baba Muyele wakwaza bahlukana. And then wamshiya hoping ukuthi she was dead. Fortunately, uma bekangashonanga. Uyele wahamba waya esibhedlela. And then makasesibhedlela, ubaba uyele waya wathi uyomqedelela. By God's grace, uma bebemdischarge on that day. Okay? And then what I've picked up with him, my mom with his stepfather besim abuse. Because I remember the last time Magazi was closure endlini, because indlu besihlala kuyona bekuyindlu kamamam. So his stepfather besihlala nami, but mina bengiza ngokuvakasha because uma bekahlala bengihlala kagogo uma ehlala somewhere else. So the day bazohlukana, my stepfather uyele wazama ukubulala uma, because I remember ukuthi bekunesibhamu. Umama usebenzele ekhaya ever since sibancane, umuntu osisebenzayo. So I remember ukuthi wayemhlalise nesibhamu. La isebenzela khona uma wami igaraji lavulwa kwaze kwashaya abo 3 ekseni. By God's grace, stepfather asikwazanga ukuthatha isibhamu sibulala mama. Wagcina wathatha izinto zakhe waphuma ekhaya. So looking at the background kamama naye, she was like kunezinto eziningi adlule kuzona from ekhaya la ekhulele khona, and then kuma relationships wakhe. And I've been making my excuses ukuthi maybe she has a reasons why angikhulise the way angikhulisa ngakhona. She's not a bad parent, but kwezinye izinto ngifila ngathi ngabe ungiprotectile as umntwana, ngabe ungisondeze eduze kwakhe kunokuthi angiphushele ekudeni, you know.
I feel like in most cases, children suffer because of. That's why I was asking about the father's relationship, because in most cases, you know, you will be punished, you will be blamed as a child, you will be resented because of the abuse that your father gave your mother. And when you look like your father, sometimes it makes things even worse. Or when you have certain characteristics that remind your mother of your father, you will be the least favorite child. You will even feel like you were adopted at some point, and that is all because this person has not healed. But with that being said, it does not necessarily mean that we need to make excuses for her to treat you the way that she did simply because of whatever that happened between her and your father. You know what I think we should do? I think let's allow everybody to share their story, because remember initially we were only giving advice to one person. I feel like let's allow everybody to share their story, so that if we're going to come back and speak on whatever it is that you want to comment on or advise on, let's advise on people. Maybe one comment might work for like a lot of people. So I think it's better everybody shares their story, those who actually have a story to share.
Hello.
Hi, darling.
Hi, njani?
Siyaphila njani?
Ngiyaphila. Mina nami ngine-story ne. Shokuthi kwendeka ngina 5 years old. Ngarepha ngibaba nomncane. So the day kwendeka makwambe kasebenza ngishana gokwami utala babwami ne. So then bengababela umncane wami vele bekasigebengu ngahlupha nje. Shokuthi that day tucala kwendeka lento gokwami wahamba. Before ahamba bathi kubabela umncane wami usale wenda njalo. Amazangi do
I didn't understand it ukuthi bekusho ukuthini, but now ngiyabona ukuthi bekusho ukuthini. Wahamba wathi azange ngicabanga azange ngivini kuphela nabo 5 minutes wangibeta babeli umncane wami ngibetele ekamereni. Ngangibetele ekamereni athi ngikline. It was date nje like uyabona ukuthi ngathi indlela betibekile. Wakhipha mukhwa. Wasingakhipha mukhwa wathi ngikhumule iphensi ngayikhumula wathi
What is
lalibheke
mukhwa?
ungakhuluma.
Yini mukhwa?
Ngikwazi ngikwaze namakwakho.
Yini mukhwa?
Yabona.
Mukhwa, is it a knife?
Yes, a
Oh,
knife.
okay.
Okay, ngakhumula wathi ngibambe i-private part yakhe ngiyisakhe. Ngakwenda lo so wangirepa vele. After isikhathi nje kokwamphindze wabuya. Nakabuya kokwamangezisa kahle kwaba right. Yabo. Makwamna kabe emsebenzini ungithola ngagogo vele ngiright athi gokwami hayi ungahlupheki ngaye sogezile uright, you understand. Makwamna yajabula ukuthi at least mawetala wami ungafilele umthwalo ngiyalala. Na the following day kuba ngiloko. It's like fana ukuthi vele bese ngimfati kuye. Okay, then khambe malanga I think lento leyo yendeke maybe boma 3 months. Yabo so lokunjalo. And then one day makwamata athi ngimgezise before ngihambe ngemsebenzini kokamatshela makwami hayi ungahlupheki ngitomgeza yabo but lelo langa makwami wangigezisa wasinethi nakathi ngikhumula iphensi kwaphuma i-discharge le-yellowish saccharinish very bad. Wangibuta wathi ukwendekaleni ngamtshela yabo babambeka khona ngalelo langa sahamba sakagokwami. It's like yabo standile esikhulu sinendlu yethu nakagokwami banendlabo bahlala bodwana nathi sihlala sodwana. Then we go there baba mambuta thawu wayi mntwana mkwendeke so athi gokwami yahlanya lona lo ma wakhe sebaplane ukuthi babulale lo mntwanami ngoba bamzonda. I was very young. Wangivisa buhlungu ngakhala. Then we go to the doctors like vele but doctor nasifika bathola umntwana ulimele washa kwacima kube ngiloko. Hayi sigcino babami babelo mncane wambambamba vele wayetshele ngiyakhula ngale nginale trauma ngibhlungu konke nje vele nje ngitibona ngathi angikho right mina bengilomuntu ukuthi nangikhula umuntu wangitshela ukuthi ngimuhle ngcoye kahle ngitokhala. Ngitokhala inwele ukuthi ngine-anger and ifamily yami benga-understand ukuthi why ngikhali yabo bathi nabakhuluma bathi hawu ukhalelani yadev mina deep down ngiva buhlungu angiboni lobuhlela abakhuluma ngabo nje kudele ngikubona ku-right for mina ngikhula naleyo anger leyo inwele ukuthi ngize ngibe mdzala I think kwaphela ngathi benginabo 10 years or 12 years khona lapho ngalenye ilanga kokwami wathi ucela ngimbukele libhakede ngalibuka libhakede ngangalithola ngihambe ngimtshela ngithi angilitholi. Then wandlula liviki nakudlula liviki watshela makwami wathi ya lo mntwana akho uyatselela lo yakananihlonipho ngithi angibukele libhakede akangibukele libhakede ngifuna kumshaya bathatha sitswebhu sethi inkomo sekulusa inkomo wangishaya inwele ukuthi angathi ukuthi ngidothi ushaya ini. Athi ngoshayela ukuthi wabophisa mntwanami naloma kwakho. Yana mbophisa mntwanami nithuka rebhe ini ulayile nakangirebhile wangishaya ene lokho kwangilimada kakhulu. So some of the things batalile bangadiboni if maketala wakho angakuthandi if bangakuthandi sometimes ungafosteli labantu labo le engaleyo batoyikhomba ene bakwenda ukuthi bafuna ukuvisa buhlungu ayikho into lebuhlungu njenge-rape I understand ene impilo yami vele yadestroyeka inwelo ukuthi even kwamina self kunginyalo bantwana bami yo ngiva buhlungu umntwanami nje angathi uyavakasha vele abemantombazane ngi-overprotective hlale even nabhotwabo nje cause nginaloku nginale fear you understand so yebo ngiyeva labanye ama-advice bayasho ukuthi enga kubuhlungu yabona i-rape it's another thing guys and if lento ingakendeki kuwe angeke uze understand uyabona lokunye ude kubona ngazuthi kunjani but ku-very very difficult kubo seswethu laba experience eloku laba kule situation zamani uthi nithole lisito vele akukho easy but it's for the best ngoba into leso iyahlupha cause ekugcineni le enga leyo sikhiphela kubantwana bethu siyaba-abuse ngithi indlela lesingaboni ukuthi siyaba-abuse ngato. Even mina kuningi lebengikwenda ngibashathi ngibende ini bangitshele bathi mama the way usithathisa ngakhona is like ngathi une-anger. You understand? And even noma bangitshela lokho ngithi bone vele nami ngihamba kwesikhathi ukuthi vele ngine-anger. You understand? Even my boyfriend I do the very same thing in a way lokuthi ngicaleke nje out of the blue ngikwade kube ngiloko sometimes ngifeel ngathi ngamshaya. I have anger and anger is dangerous vele kakhulu and ngiyafisa ukuthi ezisingibomaye azame ni-protect abantwana bethu ma-family members lamaningi akhohlakele bafuna into uyithanyele uyifake phasi kwembhede as if kude lokwendekile ukhohle undlule and leli pain lonalo libuhlungu inoyilo ukuthi kude umuntu otoli-understanda lelo pain lelo lo yena angakandluli kule situation leyo. So I wish and pray ukuthi bonke basezwami laba kule situation leyo bazame ukuthola lusizo. Even nami I'm not perfect but I'm trying. You understand? So akukho olula vele. Forgiveness is not something like uthi uvuka overnight uthi I forgive you. It will take time. And but ekugcineni wonke vele kufuna sicolele. So nje kuwo bonke abantu laba khona labafisa nale situation leyo ngiyafisa ukuthi bathole isito babe nepeace empilweni tabo. I know guys it's not easy ngiyabonga.
Oh, Sisi. Oh, my heart is bleeding for you. I just want to ask you one question before we can move to the next person for them to share their story with us. Is your uncle still in jail? Is your grandmother still alive? And how is your mother?
Okay, babelo mncane wami aphuma ejele. Wathi nakaphuma bekahlala khona lapha ekhaya. Avahamba avabuya then wagcine washona. My grandmother passed away. My mother passed away, my father passed away. And ukabona ukuthi le situation leyo ngeva buhlungu more anyway lokuthi ngalenye ilanga bengifisile ukuthi maybe my grandmother utongihlalisa phasi even yena babelo mncane wami athi ngiyaxolisa kuleli ngakwenda even kokwami athi ngiyaxolisa but azange akwende lokho because bekazonda makwami bekangamfuni vele yabona. So to me kwaba ngathi nje nangiva ukuthi bafile ngajabula inowe lokuthi vele ngaba nepeace ngabonga ngajabula kakhulu vele azangiva buhlungu sibafile yabona because vele ngiyadibuta ukuthi if ngabe bengitoba bona each and every day bekutoba kanjani yabo. So kwaba ngiloko and you know ukuthi nasikhula sese emakhaya yabona kahle nema families kunenzondo lenkulu enowe lokuthi kugcine kusihlukubeda vele hlukubeda generation to generation kuba ngiloko even namanje bantwana bakhina ngibabuka so unemntwana lo ngangami ikwayena ngithina ngimbuka abantu abakhe ngicine ngibazonda ukuthi if shothi yena bekabuka emini ukuthi ngimfade ukuthi angalala nami at the age of 5 years. So kunzima nje but
and how is the journey? How is the journey? In as much as you're saying forgiveness is not an easy thing and it's always cheesy, it sounds like people are speaking from a point of privilege when they're talking about it and they've never experienced what you experienced. But for you, from where you've been to where you are now, how has the journey of healing been and what methods have you been using to get your healing, even though it's taking its time?
Okay. Like I have a book, I write down everything, yabo. Like ngiyazama ukuthi ngirevise whatever leyaqala kwendeka ngibhale phasi. So ukubhala kwami phasi kungenda ukuthi ngihile because uba nema question lebe kufanele maybe ngabuta loyo muntu loyo but angekho ukuthi umbude even if noma bekakhona utombuda maybe angekuphendule ngade way wena expecting ngakhona. So for me ukuthi ngibhale phasi ngifunze lento ngirevise ukuthi kwendeka so you understand kungende ngahila and ngagcine ngabona vele ukuthi I need counseling anyway lokuthi kwanami kuma relationship ami bekuba difficult ngigcine ngilwa bangishaya kube ngiloko nje kube toxic ngabona ukuthi you know what I need help ngahamba ngaya ekliniki ngabachazela isituation bangibhalela incwadi bangirefera to ma psychologist esibhedlela then nga-attenda i-therapy from there ngayi-attenda until up to now I'm trying nje and ngiyacoca nangako you know guys ukukhuluma ngale nto it helps a lot mina sometimes ngiyahlala endlini ngithi khulumele ngedwana ngathi ngikhuluma naloyo muntu loyo you understand lokho kungisitile kwanami ukuthi ngihile ngithi bude ngiphinde ngitiphendule as if ngathi ngikhuluma nalo muntu loyo so it helps me a lot.
Sure, sis. My heart goes out to you. Yes, I wish you were here. I was going to give you a hug. Yes, shame. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I do believe it's going to help a lot of people, and I'm so sorry. I want to apologize for those who are going to have a problem with the language barrier. Those who can't understand Zulu and Swati, I apologize, but I always say the best way people can express themselves is when they're using their language. So I apologize for that. And for those who can hear, I hope they take this story with a lot of grace, and I hope that it gives them the healing or peace. Like literally listening to each and every person's story, I hope it gives them a little bit of healing, one day moving closer to the healing compared to the way they were the previous day. Thank you so much, Tandosami. Can we move to the next person who has a story to share with us?
Hi.
Hi, darling.
My heart. Kunzima. My heart is so heavy, guys. I'm just gonna be a bit brief because I'm still at work. I have deadline to meet. Never mind, it's my printer making the noise. Okay. So my story goes like this. I don't know how to explain it, but it was a bit difficult because my mom and her sister, they got married by brothers. The brothers had money and everything. Unfortunately, things didn't work out for them. They had to divorce and come back to my mother's village.
Okay.
They both divorced, and then that's where everything started. My cousins and my grandmother and her other kids, they will bully us. So me and my siblings and my other cousin from my mother's sister, the one that they were twins. So we will get bullied because probably because our father's family was a well-off family, and their families or whatever, it's not the same as us. So my mom passed away. I was just 13 years old when my mom passed on. And my mother's sister, she had to go and start to work so that she can provide for us. We were staying at my grandmother's place. Unfortunately, that night, because the provider of the family was my uncle who was working for a government institute, my uncle came back and he was drunk. He broke our room. I was sleeping with my cousin. May her soul rest in peace because she died. And he chased us. Like you see on the villages, so perseverance.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like a big field like that. I ran naked with a paint. I ran until I could not run anymore. I'm just 13. It's at night. Like the area, it's scattered. It's those villages that there's a house here and then you can walk like 2 kilometers before you can see another house like that. And then he decided to do whatever that he wants to do with me. And then he did with my cousin. I still don't know, but I thank God every day because since that day, my cousin got infected, but I never got infected. How? I don't. Oh my God. I really don't know, but it's God's grace, honestly. And okay, I'm getting emotional.
It's okay, sis.
And okay, I told myself, you know what? I spoke about
Sure. Guys, this is so hard, hey? This is so painful. I don't know, maybe we can give her maybe a minute or so that maybe she can come back. But, yo, guys, life is hard. Life is hard. Yeah, I don't know, maybe we can move on to the next person, then she will come back and pick up from where she left off when she comes back. Can we move to the next person?
Hi, Madam Speaker. Seems like there's no one talking.
Yes, you can speak, my darling. I was waiting for you.
Okay. Okay, my story, ne? You know, sometimes small feel like you have problems, ne? And then uhlala umamela inkinga zabanye abantu, you get to see ukuthi kahle kahle nginazo inkinga. But when you listen to other people, uyabona ukuthi uphethe ikhandlela abanye abantu baphethe umlilo ngesandla.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Madam Speaker, my situation is it's a generational curse because of izinto ezinyenzakalelayo, as things that happened to my grandmother, they happened to my mother, and they are happening to me. Grandmother. And then manje it's the way ngibona ngakhona ngathi ngenelela nasebantwaneni basekhaya, the way ibabuhlungu ngakhona. Ugogo wamaxoshwa kubo had to suffer for indawo yokuhlala, my mother the same. And then ugogo amazange athande umamam, wathanda abanye abantwana bakhe. And then umamam also didn't like me. And then it was difficult for me to accept. Even namanje, so, last week there was a time when I've read the Bible, and then I told Guti cursing my own parent, dangerous kangakanani. Some things the seasons are to revenge, and when we are living, we get to ukuziyenzela izinto zibe worse thina ourselves. I saw on the Bible with other things that happened to me. It was because of I let them ngomlomo wami. You understand? I started reading the Bible last year, like frequently, every day. I don't miss a chance on reading a Bible. I used to read the Bible like sometimes and pray sometimes, go to church and worship and all that, and then I've saw before that I'm a gifted person, but it gift yami iyapuma iphinde ivaleke, understand? So last I came through a verse where I noticed good, ukuphuka umamam always, because of like there wouldn't be a time where langamthuki khona. You understand? Nabantwana basekhaya, like we literally, me and my little sisters, we literally would swear on my mom, like singayikhipha inhlambi enzima. Akasekho lo muntu lo ngikhuluma ngayo emhlabeni. Umama washona, I was 13 years. Makashona. Like, because of she didn't love us, and like even everything that she did, even when she was alive, noma ashonile, you understand? Sometimes abantu bazokutshela ukuthi hayi idlozi elihle umama wakho and all that. I would respond ngokuthi umamami angangithanda, angaphila, angangithanda afile uyahlanya wena. Let's just fair. You know, I would just take out those words ezinzima nje. Okay, let me pass on that. I would like people suffer forgiveness. If forgiveness inzima, we know.
Mama, yazi isithando sami. Oh, wait. Sithando sami. Mamela, my darling. Wena ne, you are the most important part of this life, because you are here for the same thing that I'm here for, and that is to give people advice, ne? But I want you to uyibambe njengancane sithandwa sami, because what I had said was that I want people to share their stories so that uma sebeqedile abantu ukukhuluma istory sabo, then we can come in. Yabo? So wena
Alright.
uyibambe khona lapho, ungaphumi, unganyakazi. Just stay there with me, stay with me. Right now I just want us to go through the story so that people can share their stories, and then we'll come back and share with them what we think would be the best thing to do. Yabo?
Okay, that's okay. Sure.
Ngiyabonga sithandwa sami. Junior, are you also going to speak last? Because I think Junior had spoken, but she was speaking to Shimani. So if you are also here for the same thing as myself and User, maybe we can skip you as well, Junior. Okay, Junior is also is not close to the phone. I think we're going to move to Eleanor. Do you have a story or do you want to advise? I don't know, maybe the problem is on my side, guys, because everybody's just Mia, kids. Okay, everybody's unmuting at the same time. I don't know
Also
anymore.
last, you can jump me. That's
Okay.
Eleanor.
Okay, sharp, darling. Okay.
I'm also going to be last.
Okay, sharp. I heard you. Mia, kids also. You
I'm
also
also going to be last.
sharp. No problem, darling.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I heard you. Sharp. I think Mia Kids also said the same thing, that you also wanna you wanna advise, right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So you can mute for now. Well, we'll come back to you guys. We'll start from User and then Eleanor, then you. I know for sure. I know who Random Randy is, because she's one person that I was actually gossiping about in the beginning of the live when I said that somebody actually shared a story, a real-time story of how, you know, I don't want to share her story for her, and I know that she's here because of that. But before we get to you, Random Randy, I want to check with Timby first if she also has a story or if she wants to advise. Timby, do you have a story?
Hello,
Yes, I can hear you.
I want to advise.
Okay, yeah. So just hold it for me. Let's move on to the next person. Last but not least, Random Randy. I don't know if the network is disappointing me or what, but there seems to be a little bit of a delay. But I would love for Randy to come and share her story, because I saw her on the comment sections of the small video that I did earlier on today. Randy?
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Novo and yeah, well, you know, yeah, basically.
Okay, I think
like it was my mom.
There's a little bit of a glitch. There was a glitch there. I couldn't hear
right?
you for a couple of seconds. Can you take it
again? So basically, with me, I grew up in a very close-knit family. My mom was very close to her sisters, right? They were very close. Like, I regard my cousins, we don't even call each other cousins. It's my brothers and sisters. And like, even as I'm talking right now, I feel like I'm betraying my family, but you know, like while talking in your comment section, one of the people who commented actually told me that it's okay to talk about these things, because as much as I say that I'm over it and I've forgiven, I'm still triggered by things like this when I hear them, you know. So basically, what happened was my older brother is gay, right? And we were very close. He is my mentor. He is an incredibly intelligent man and everything. So basically, I gave him access to my life, and I introduced him to my man, and it looked like, okay, fine. This body or whatever. Like, yeah, my man was very good looking, but there was not much between his 2 years and everything. But like, yeah. So yes, eventually, it just looked like these people are sidelining me, and they are calling me crazy for for suggesting things or no, like something sinister here. Like Ning Ning, my man has a different phone. Taking these people are meeting. Yeah. Long story short, my man fucked my brother, right? And yeah, upon finding out, when I went to the family, basically it was, they made very light of it, and like now at the time, I mean, I was shattered. I mean, it's enough for a man to cheat on you, for a man to cheat on you with a family member. That is a man. It's like a double. I mean, like it's a double betrayal that I cannot even put into words. Like I used to ask myself, like, at no time did any of them stop to see what are we doing to her, you know? Like, I mean, both of them were emotionally invested in my life, and so was I, you know? And, you know, I had trusted both of them, but yeah, that's what transpired.
How did you find out?
Family being what it is, I had to forgive. How did I find out? That is actually the funniest part, because it came to a point where they had conspired to paint me as a crazy person for my allegation, and decided that, because at the time I was unemployed, right? So my brother's like, no, let's go see mommy. Let's go see, because we call each other's mom's mommy. It's like, let's drive to Venda, like a road trip. So guy, we get into his car, he drives me home. He's like, okay, fine, later on I'll call you, and then we'll go to Groove. Okay, when I call him back, I'm blocked on Facebook, I'm blocked on WhatsApp, I'm blocked on social media, like everything. And just it came like an epiphany, right? Like all along I had the suspicion, but then it just came to me, sure as day, well, no, this is what's happening. And at the time I was with my best friend who had my brother on Instagram. Like, she showed me a picture of my ex in only an apron in my brother's penthouse, because obviously my brother's gay, was a chartered accountant, moneyed for days. He's rich as fuck at the time. So like, yeah, they're living their best life, and I can't get a hold of any of them. You babes. Yeah, so that's how I found out on Instagram. There were pictures of them kissing and whatnot. And still, yet, the family was like, no, Kimadimoni, forgive him, he's your man. And I prayed about it, and then I found out I'm pregnant. But obviously, the stress of it, I lost the baby, consequently, you know. And I was diagnosed bipolar shortly after, because I lost my mind. I mean, yeah. So yeah.
So how's your relationship with, I don't even, the ex is an ex now, right?
Yeah, very much so.
And how's the relationship between you and the blood, which is thicker than water now?
The blood prevailed. The last time I talked to him was today.
Ha!
Basically, because I mean, basically, like, I honestly feel like a hypocrite for this, right? Because here I am proclaiming how much this has affected me as a person. Like, Bona, the remnants, the repercussions of this, I see in my everyday. Like, you know, I can't say that I'm over it. Like, but yeah, you know, I felt like forgiving, being angry is such hard work. It was consuming me. I don't know. I guess I had to forgive him, or whatever it is that I'm doing.
Did he ask for your forgiveness?
I don't think fully, you can let go. You can't, like, yeah.
Did he ask for your forgiveness?
Yeah,
And your ex and him, are they still are they not together anymore?
No, they broke up. No, remember the family intervened, and then I had to get back to with the man.
Ha, my sister,
Babes,
you really
I
you
was overreacting. Apparently, I was overreacting. Like the only time that I ever felt like my feelings were valid was on your comment section just now. And until now, I honestly thought, no, maybe I'm jumping the gun here. Maybe like yeah.
no, your feelings are very much valid. I can't be, this is like a
Actually-
movie. You're and I kind of feel like because you invalidated so much, that's why you literally had to just forgive, because if I don't forgive, then it's gonna seem like, you know what, I'm this dramatic person, and you're not dramatic. This is crazy. This is wild. This is extreme. This is not normal.
Yes. What? Yeah. What does it make me if I can't forgive and move on? Show to me I'm evil. So yeah, like subconsciously, I think I conditioned myself to that. But funny enough, it always comes back to me when things like this are brought up. So obviously I'm lying to myself about if I haven't healed from this, you know, because it was a significant. Like I'm only telling you the gist of it, but then there was a lot of conniving, there was a lot of lying, there was a lot of like have you ever had people make you feel like you're going crazy? Kanti, you are onto something there, and yeah. So
Oh, my sister. My sister. You know, I thank God you are alive to tell the tale, because what? Like, I mean, having your I said this in the beginning of the live. I think maybe you were not here. I was actually gossiping about you because I said something about your situation. Because I said that I saw a comment where somebody was saying that their husband cheated on them with their brother or cousin or something like that. And the person they cheated with is a guy, you know. And the thing is it better? Would it have been better if he cheated on you with a cousin? No. The thing is, would it have been better if he cheated on you with your cousin who's a girl? Because also the shock of you realizing that my husband is actually gay and I didn't even know. Why are you with me then if you don't want to be with women, you want to be with men, right? Number one. Number two, if you cheated on me with my cousin who's a woman, would it have been better? If you cheated on me with a stranger who's a woman, would it have been better? If you cheated on me with a man who's not my cousin, would it have been better? Like he could have done any of those things with anybody out there but your cousin, your brother. Hi, my sister, you are not crazy to
I mean, the guilt of knowing that these people, like I actually brought them together. Like it would have been so much better if it had been. I have an older sister. If we had fucked my older look.
At least you know that.
Psychological mind fuck of asking myself, am I not enough as a woman? What you understand? Like it takes you places. Like, and also like in the process of my brother trying to get my man. Kuri is telling him lies. Kuri what's talking? She's had 15 abortions and whatnot and whatnot. What's talking? Like I didn't even know who to blame by the end of the situation. But then it was so vile and so ugly that
My sister, can I ask you one question? If tables were turned and you did to your brother what he did to you, would he have forgiven you? Just by looking at things. So you see, these people are still taking you for a puss. Even now, you are still for him. You are still a piece of nothing. That is the craziest thing about this whole thing. You know, you don't have to. In as much as we are preaching forgiveness, you literally have to dwell in this thing and let it sink. Let it sink, or these people really did me dirty, so that at least when you are forgiving, you're not running away from your situation and being in denial about it. Because honestly speaking, I feel like the point that you were at when you were forgiving these people, it was, you know what, let's not make noise about the fact that I feel like I'm less of a woman because my own husband cheated on me with my brother. No. You understand what I mean? I feel like you really wanted to just get it moving, get it over and done with. And the reason why you are always coming back to it and you're feeling the pain all over again is because honestly speaking, it is still there somewhere deep down. And I think what, I don't know if you were here when the apostle was speaking here, advising one lady here, saying that you have to come out of that dark room and come into the light and be realistic about how you feel and how everything has made you feel. Because us pretending as if things didn't happen, pretending as if we forgave, pretending as if this is normal, it's not. It's weird. It's awkward. It's you. It's everything not nice. And these things were done to you. You get what I mean? They were done to you. And you are well within your rights to feel like a human being that you are and react. Because this is going to mess up your future relationships. Are you going to be able to bring your next boyfriend, your next husband, anywhere near any of your family members?
No, obviously, I have immense trust issues to this day. Immense. It's not. I'm jaded for life. Like I'm saying, I had my first episode. I was diagnosed bipolar right after that.
Yeah.
And I get like if you don't understand what bipolar is, it can be as a result of emotional trauma or whatnot. But that was just. I literally lost my mind because it was a double betrayal. I mean, this is my brother and my man. Both these people are so close to me. And yeah, yet get over it.
Sure.
Get over it, Brandy. Get over it. Get over it.
Crazy. That is insane. Oh, I shame. No, this is not right.
Yeah, but thank you so much for this because this is actually the first time I've actually talked about it.
And well done to you.
Like this.
Well done.
Which is risky because I hope none of my family members see this.
I mean, at this point, you're not the problem here. People should really know how you feel about what was done to you, you know. This thing of being a goody two-shoe and being nice all the time to people who are messing you up, it's not on, you know. At some point, you really have to say, listen, you did me dirty and I'm well within my rights to feel the way that I'm feeling right now. And you're not even supposed to be the one that is apologizing. You're not supposed to be tippy-toeing around anybody. They did you dirty, a whole lot of them, you know. Yeah, I'm so sorry for what you've been through, darling.
Thank you for the platform.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. I think now we're gonna go all the way back to user, and then because everybody else who's here is just here to give advice, and then yeah, let's hear, guys. We can push it. Can we push it to at least 9:30 because we've been here for 2 hours already, like way beyond our usual times. Hi, user.
Yes, Madam Speaker. Let me be very short.
Yes, darling.
Madam Speaker, I wanted to talk about forgiveness now, so people can understand how forgiveness can start on forgive themselves and the perpetrators and the other people who did them wrong. And Madam Speaker, I know it's difficult and people have seen it that it's very difficult. But I want people to start looking at their relationships, like what do they want, and even them, like at the workplace, wherever themselves, what do they want? What are they accepting, and then what they don't want? How will they reject it? I understand that people should be fine with people not being around them, and people should be fine with things that they don't get in time. And I think people should be fine ngokuthi yes kwenzekile. And it's hard to acknowledge ukuthi kwenzekile. People shouldn't deny things ezenzeke kubo. They should really come to things ukuthi yenzekile this thing and it happened and umuntu akhale abuze ubuhlungu and asho ukuthi kubuhlungu and kubuhlungu kangakanani. Yazwisisa? Abantu kumele bazifundise nenye into ukuthi not only if it's family, you have to forgive and stay with those people. You can forgive and be aware of people. You can be very far from them. And I want people to teach themselves, especially women, Madam Speaker, ukuthi umfazi abe one. I want us to stop being in relationships. And some things we are not getting healing because of we are in relationships where we can't even talk about those things, where we have to hide certain things, where we have to be defended on, you understand, on other colors. I wanna say to people, Uguti, ngiyacela bakwethu, if you see that you are not ready for a relationship, don't go to a relationship, even it's friendship. Don't have a friendship where you wanna benefit into onganayo wena. Zakhele wena with yourself. Start loving yourself and accepting who you are.
Yeah.
Accept what you have at first, and then go out ukusocialize nabantu because of you need nje ukuxhaswa there and there, not to stand ngabantu. One thing about us is that we are standing ngabantu kakhulu, Madam Speaker. Mina ekhaya, Madam Speaker, now I'm very away from ifamily yonke. Ngise Pitori ne ifamily yami isethembisa yonke. La Pitori ne partly family ikude nakimi, but abayazi nokuze ukuzongivakashela. I haven't allowed anyone ukuthi angivakashele because of I think ukuthi ukuza kwabantu kuzongibuyisela emuva kancane. I understand. So abantu mabazithole babodwa, umuntu azithole yena ayi-one. Then it is then also allow abantu piece by piece. There are people obabonayo in your life ukuthi these people abafuneki empilweni yami, abafuneki, and don't let them in, whether they are rich, poor, or njani. And whether they are rich or ganjani, this person young sugar. Okay. Madam Speaker, another thing I want to say, if it says cry, ebantwini, cry mtasekhaya, cry a lot. And when abantu, Madam Speaker, music, abantu, they should dwell in music. Abantu, let the person also ubuhlungu, whatever song eting please mtasekhaya, music heals. Music heals, even if it's gospel, whatever music that you love. Music heals because of when you are listening to a message of a music, there's something that we are getting from music, you know? There's a lot, especially when we listen to gospel. In gospel, because of sometimes when you worship yourself, you are praising God, and God's tend to and reach out to you. We don't have, God doesn't reach out only in prayer, but reaches out with praising Him, singing, and saying, sometimes when you pray, you don't have to be in your room, but at the scene, and I thank you, Madam Speaker, for this, and it's really helping a lot of people. Thank you for this.
Thank you so much, my darling. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate you being very brief, as if you know my life depends on it. We are moving to Junior. Junior, my darling. Junior.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you, darling?
I'm good, you? Yeah. Tonight's stories, they are very painful. The advice that I want to give is that I'm aware that today's platform, it is led by the Holy Spirit. Actually, it's all about forgiveness. And I feel like everyone who shared the story in this platform, there are some, they are in the process of healing. They are not aware, because immediately when you start sharing about something whereby you can even laugh, even if the laugh still have that little pain, but they are on the process. And I'm also reminded in my spirit, sometimes people do not heal because of they're not trying, but because of they ended up to a point whereby pain, it become a norm to one. Pain, it becomes something pain whereby even people, when they hate you, you no longer see or people they hate, because you see a pain as alive. It's on a a victim of rape for a very long time. I talk at two show. That thing, a life is about sleeping with a man. A life is about a man sleeping with me. Now, one kind of a person who in most cases, when I have situations, I don't get help by anyone. My body is the one ear reporter, or you know what, girl, you have reached a point whereby this is no longer you. I remember previous month, I felt like I was depressed. I would just have dreams. Then when I wake up, it will be like someone will come to me, I need advice of something that I was going through or something that I'm going through. So women, re na le this thing ya go kgotlelela. Sometimes re fihla to a level whereby a re sa kgotlelela.
Yeah.
A go sa kgotlelela. If you feel pain, cry out, because kgotlelela, it brings anger. When you do kgotlelela, is perseverance, like we persevere, or this one now. Oh, okay, fine, no, God, this one is an alert. But there is something. God, immediately when you enter into it, I'm not married now, but immediately when you enter in an abusive marriage, or immediately when you get married, then this thing, it happens once, twice, third time. Seek help.
Yeah.
Don't want that thing or you are married. You know, like this perseverance, I'm aware that even our young sisters are married by pastors who abuse them so bad. Someone will be like, no, sis, perseverance, I will never expose him because of he's a servant of God. No. Damn the servant of God, because of the spirit that he will preach on the pulpit, it will spread to other men. And the devil, that is how he operates. That is the kind of a communication channel that the devil operates. He knows if a pastor is a fornicator, immediately when he stands on the pulpit and preach to the congregation, that spirit is
spreading that, yes.
So women cry out loud. Bona, if you feel like you're married to a monster, why do our husband has to smile outside with other people, but then at home give the black mamba? The Bible says, so men love the world and God loved the world and that is an instruction of God to a man, that love your woman, love your wife. And when you love your wife, irrespective of your home has food and what, loves bring peace and joy. And a woman who is loved unconditionally, you can tell. That woman becomes active. That woman, when she speaks, her voice has life because of she's speaking about something that she knows. Similar to a woman that is abused, she'll be quiet with things that he has to share for people to heal. But how are we going to be a healing nation whereas we have been broken by people that we love? Sometimes if you have to forgive your family and go far away, do that. Because of you can't be sitting on a fire and say, no, when I'm sitting down, sometimes we need to, ladies, cry out loud. Now we have perseverance here. But text her even got 2 o'clock. No, I can't sleep. This is what is going through. Nasa perseverance, text the I'm not a kika. No, I won't do that. I won't, because of tomorrow I don't want to be the last person that she texted of my Lord, she needed help. Then Lord, they will need that soul because of me. And the thing forgiveness, we cannot forgive people because of they are very difficult to forgive them in heaven. Hey, hello, in heaven there is no time for discussion. You forgive the person for your sake, for your own peace sake, and move on with your life. Because of we have been raped by people that we love. We have been hurt by people that we love. We have people that we are protecting. You don't want to expose your father because of you don't want your mother and your father to break up. No. Oh, what is wrong? If when you're going through that thing secretively, and your mother, what is she going through? As women, we are wounded. Okay, the Bible says we will give birth so painfully and whatnot. We don't know where God chose that, but we don't have to perish, whereas we know where we can stand up. And women, we don't have to break another woman's crown, to fix it. Stop laughing at the situation. Help a sister out. Sometimes if what must I do? We can't be remaining disguised. Instead of cleaning, bandishing inside. Sometimes anger it's a can of worms. You can see the can, or this is the beautiful can, maybe kitchen stuff, give fish or again. When you open inside, you find mess. We have in future we are women, we want to be married, but there is still a wound. We are not sister, brother, no one all when sister nice. Then the brother then you become abusive, you become something else. cannot get use of that thing. I'm masturbating and I don't want this thing. Why should we be nice outside bed when we know that inside our rooms we are crying the whole night? Let us normalize to talk. Let us normalize to speak out because of depression. It is real. I don't want to go further.
Oh, thank you so much, my darling. I really appreciate you so much. We're going to quickly move to Eleanor. Guys, these are your parting words. So if you are done, once you are done, you are more than welcome to leave, because after this, I'm just wrapping it up, okay? Eleanor? Eleanor? Eleanor?
Yes, Madam Speaker. Thanks for the live today. And I actually agree with Mukhadi that this one is actually spirit-led.
Yeah, I see that as
And
well.
I hope people are really listening to what Yusa and Mukhadi said, because what they both said is very much profound. So just to add on to what they both said, I want to first and foremost, I wish I could stand on a mountain and scream this. When God forgives you, God forgives anything, no matter the gravity of your sin, be it murder, rape, whatever, God will forgive you. But He will not excuse you from the punishment of what you did. The punishment is still gonna stay there, but forgiveness you will get. So why am I saying that? I am saying that because it is as if sometimes when we're speaking about forgiveness, we're saying that it's a passport to say it is okay for whomever did do whatever, so therefore forget. No correction needs to be made. Yes, there's this mother that I used to know. Because I don't believe in corporal punishment, and she believes in spanking. Because you will find Umtwana screaming, Mama, but I said sorry. Her answer will always be, but I forgave you. But we still need to fix what you ruined. And I will always laugh. I never got why she always, I thought she was taunting her kids until much later, years later, that actually what she was saying, and I actually used her words to help me forgive the people who have hurt me in my own life. Having forgiven, it does not mean abantu labyana are excused from what they did, and it does not mean now you must but be a fool in love, maybe for a lack of better wording. And going back to Ushimani, what I would like to say to Ushimani is, Shimani, may I please just still Amazuga, Madam Speaker, Egypt, when she talks about Egypt thrives in secrecy and it thrives in isolation. The more that you're keeping this type of secret to all of us, only Shimani, all of us, we have been a victim of this or that. We swallow this thing and we own this pain, and now this pain is a secret, and we are protecting our own perpetrators by harming our own selves and our own sanity. We give up everything just for them in public at our expense. So the only way for you to heal is to speak out. It's not being disrespectful. Yes, yes, and it shall be said. It shall be said, and I forgive you. Mama, indota yakho ingumngwe nguna uthi uma ulele naye wazi ukuthi ulele nomngwe. And then you are going to sit down and eat their food because you forgave them. If somebody uyangithola now, sometimes our family they want no, you're gonna forgive this man. How are you going to be in heaven if you haven't forgiven? Yeah. The God that I praise, I know He forgives me everything and still me told him to. So why is it ukuthi manje uRandy yena is going to be forced to sit in a loveless marriage because that's the only way that she can prove ukuthi she's a proverbial woman.
Thank you so much, my darling. You have said a lot. Thank you so much, my darling. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much, Tando. Mia kids.
Okay, my issue. Okay, I agree with everything that everyone has been saying in terms of advising and everything. But then my issue is with Shimani's case. We have a lady here who is sleeping with a knife. She is a lawyer or she's studying law. So my issue with forgiveness, I don't have I'm also a Christian. I also believe in forgiveness, but I want to believe that when we give this kind of advices of forgiving and all that, let's also look at the environment. Shimani can forgive her father. She can do everything that we're saying she must do. Now she's sleeping with a knife. That is a problem on its own. Because she can stab anyone. And that will be the end of a future. So when we give advice, guys, let's also give support or refer to relevant stakeholders. Like Madam Speaker, I believe people, maybe people who can help her. We had a case, I think 3 weeks back, wherein there was a child who was abused by a stepdad, and I believe that we were able to also refer her to relevant stakeholder, and she got the help that she needed. Now, Shimani, if she continues to stay there, she's going to also deal with a lot of mental issues. Issues right. And Shimani rekwamba ngamthene uche mwana ngori ara ache chikoloni zviamba zvori uche mwana uko need support. So musi rechi kwamba nga forgiveness, there's a lady ahola we abachimbola rwimbo ekuweme abachiko abuse wanga muna wawe. She's also a Christian. Aba ako abuse wanga muna wawe until achibia amubulaya. So as Christian rifuna ba careful ngamanda musi richipa the advice. Muzimu vahone ri tea dovha ra humbudzana uri kha ri dovhe ri believe kha mudzimu uri vha ḓo ri konisa na musi ra bva kha situation dza toxic. Not uri ri believe kha mudzimu uri vha ḓo tshentsha dzinyimele dzine ri khou dzi vhona khosi ya hoyo ṅwana vha khou sumbedza vha sa khou tshentsha. That is why a tshi khou eḓela na lufhanga every day. So musi ri tshi fha dzi advice kha ri dovhe ri vhone uri okay ri nga mu rifera gai fhethu hune a vha uri a nga wana hone thuso. I don't
know if you were here. Yes. I don't know if you were here when the apostle, I can't remember his name, but his apostle something was speaking, saying that everything that is in the dark, he needs to find a way to sit with her mother. And making her mother aware, like what Eleanor has just said now, her mother needs to be aware that she is sleeping with a rapist. So her being aware and her being called out and her knowing that, listen, my child is saying these things to me, which I was not aware. I thought I was the only one who's enduring abuse in this relationship, but it's also affecting my children. That on its own can make a difference in her life. But also at the same time, I did say that she needs to contact us so that we can see what other help we can give her. Because for me, I feel like in her situation, the help that she needs, also the mother needs to get help. And the only way that we can trigger the mother's emotions or the heart for her to be able to want the help is when she's aware of what is being done to her child. Yes.
Yeah, so yes, I agree with you. I believe that we need to empower each other. Because I believe that there are a lot of women who actually moved out of those situations, even though they were not working. I myself, I was married. I was in a toxic marriage. But I had to move and stay in a shack with my kids. We had to sleep on the floor because the situation was toxic. So we need to actually empower each other so that we can move with our kids. We know for Christians, divorce, it's not an option, but
ri nga si litshedze vhana vhavhuya vha nga vha sa fela kha dzi nyimele dza so ri khou funa u takuwa sa vhafumakadzi ra ya ra shuma zwiṱiraṱani ra doba mabambiri vhutshilo haya phanḓa ri nga si litshedze vhana ri khou shavha nḓala.
Sure. Thank you so
Nda ndi
much.
khou amba zwezwo fhedzi. Thank you Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much.
Thank
God
you.
bless you. I don't know if maybe Randy has any parting words before we wrap it up. Because yeah, we've been here, we've overstayed our welcome in this live. I'm sure TikTok head office they're complaining already. Randy, do you have any parting words?
Much, guys. I'm overwhelmed with the fact that like as women, perseverance, like I'm sorry, Madam Speaker.
It's okay, whichever one that you're comfortable with. Don't worry about it. They're both very much relevant, applicable.
Yes. I've never understood your strength. You are such a strong woman. You are such like, and whatever it is that you're doing, thank you so much. I feel so much lighter for this, and you know, yeah. Aluta, like, God bless you and Godspeed.
Thank you so much.
And for everyone here, guys, that lady needs to get to safety. We can't be posting about a woman who's sleeping with a knife, and like, this is not a pick me show, and my life is not a movie, but I've been there, and it was the people who yanked me out who I can say saved my life. You understand? I would have stayed and died. You know, sometimes you need someone to physically go there and fucking pull you out. Like you can't sleep with a knife. Like, she understands the kind of danger she's in, and it's a cry for help. Whoever can get access, do something. I heard a story of one woman like this gorgeous little girl, like on YouTube somewhere, who was being abused and yeah, gosh, guys, men are cruel. Yo, sorry, okay. I'm running with it. Good night, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And I do believe that every single person who has shared their story here, there's a part or there's, you know, the portion of healing that has come to them because of sharing whatever that they have shared. And for those who have missed some parts of this live, I really do encourage you to go to YouTube and watch the whole thing. Even those who are sharing here, I would encourage you. Yes, it is available on YouTube so that you can go and watch and the whole thing and see what points you can take, you know. Yeah, so but then with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for the heartfelt messages that you have shared. And yeah, God bless you and good night. We'll see you on the next one. I think this one we're not yet done. I think we might have to do it again, just a part 2, and I will try my level best on my end as God willing to try and reach out to the young lady and see what type of help we can give her. And obviously I cannot do it on my own. I really need you guys to come through with me and just help me out. I did say to her that she can reach out to the WhatsApp community group that we have. I followed her. I'm gonna try and get a hold of her even after this live and see how we can help her. Yeah, but anyway, with that being said, thank you so much. God bless you and good night. Love you, love you, love you. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Where do we switch this thing off? Okay, there we go.